Are you having problems with scouts? Do you find you and your team struggling whenever one of those spaghetti bastards gets alerted? My name is Traveler, and I'm going to show you how to deal with them better in Rundown 6. Welcome back to the channel, boys. Sorry for my constant lack of motivation for my accidental break. At least I kept you all busy through my amazing community posts. Today I'm going to be making an update video to my most popular, How to Kill Scouts Better, Outdated. In this video I will go over new melee weapons, how your movement affects scouts, where to swing, and what tools can assist you. This video is completely standalone and watching the previous is not mandatory. Let's get started. Quickly, I do want to start off by mentioning that in a lot of the clips and testing that I did, I used modifications to my game. There's a link in the description for all the mods that I used. Despite the use of mods, none of my findings should vary from my test to your game. Regarding future rundowns, some of the information here may become inaccurate. However, most of what I say in this video should apply regardless of rundown. That is, except for the melee weapons and the rundown specific weapons. However, do keep in mind that sometimes weapon damage values change each rundown, so even if it works now for a certain weapon, it may not in the future. Now let's actually get started. Regardless of the melee weapon, always make sure that your crosshair circle is small when going for the kill. Otherwise, you will miss and either hit the body, the ground, or be in a really bad spot to charge your swing again. Also, the range for missing a swing and hitting the ground or something appears to be as wide as the feelers. So in this clip, I hit the wall and then I hit the ground right underneath of a feeler and it sets off the scout. Starting with the bat, I found that this is pretty finicky. The range is definitely a struggle and I can't get a good spot to hit. Given that Oxy put a good smack seems to work out most of the time. However, forehead fractures ain't gonna cut it. I also found some difficulty attacking while the scout was hunched over. That doesn't work.
Quiet, goddammit!
I found some strange behavior with the knife. It seems like you gotta find just the right spot if you want to consistently take out the spaghetti boys with it. I found that hitting the back of the head works most of the time, and hitting the front is just a big no. Gotta get like there. The sledgehammer is my favorite for scouts. It's not as powerful as the spear, but it definitely carries its own weight. The sledgehammer can also hit anywhere on the head, and it seems like you can get away with about 80% charge. 50% doesn't work, but 80% does most of the time. I would only partial swing in emergencies, and speaking of emergencies, if you're in a bad spot or you need the scout to start feeling, you can sprint while charging with this bad boy. That's a huge plus over the spear in my opinion. Keep in mind that the sledge uses swinging movement. This means that if you're crouching, you'll actually need to aim a tad higher than where the target is, otherwise it might hit the neck. This seems to have been mostly removed in Rundown 6, but it doesn't hurt to aim just a little bit higher. The spear is the king when it comes to handling these pasta monsters. As long as your hit contacts the head, you're good to go. The spear can even kill at half charge.
Ooh, that was a half charge.
And with the range, you barely even gotta get close. Absolute champion. The only tools capable of killing the scout on their own would have to be the sniper sentry and the mine deployer, or any mines laying around will do. Both of these are pretty terrible options, but the mine deployer is definitely the worser one. Not only will it wake up everything else in the room, but you have to get close enough to the scout anyways to plop a mine down. Then wait for the scout to walk into the mine. Very tedious, can go horribly wrong, just don't do this.
I'm the shit.
The sniper sentry, however, has the advantage of not needing to get near the scout. From my testing, I couldn't get it to miss the shot even if I put it in a spot with some scaffolding and barrels and whatnot in the way. Just still try to place it in a good spot. And as of Rundown 6, the sniper sentry can also, if placed right, not wake up the room the scout is in. You just have to place it in a separate room. For example, the scout is technically on the other side of what would be a door, so the sniper sentry shoots, kills the scout, and the room is still asleep. Voila. On to mechanics. First, we need to understand how our movement affects the scout's current state. I'll be using the following phrases for different scout cycles: feeling, retracting, walking, and standing. Walking is the best way to deal with scouts. It doesn't make scouts feel any sooner than crouching, and it's faster. Crouching should be used when sneaking under feelers and sometimes to attack the scout while it's hunched over retracting. Sprinting should only be used tactically. Sprinting anywhere near a scout will make it prematurely start feeling. This is best used when a scout is coming towards you and you aren't sure when it's going to hunch over, thus When you are ready, tap shift once and the head will be in the spot you're expecting. This makes walking takedowns much easier. It should also be noted that contrary to previous rundowns and what I've even said in the past, flashlights do not affect the scout in any way, and it's probably your movement if you think it does. Now that you have your weapon loadout selected, let's talk about how to actually handle the scout. First, observe the scout. Most scouts will have sort of a route with little strands for wandering off somewhere. Get an idea of where it likes to roam and plan accordingly. Second, assess the area. Take out as many normal sleepers as you can so the scout can become your top priority. This will allow you to move freely if need be. This will also allow for sprinting. Third, if the scout is in a bad spot, look for ways to get closer to it, things like stairs and hallways. Here's a good example. In this clip, I walk to the left and go up the stair hallway thing instead of going into the trench, as it would be harder to hit higher. And then I'd have to get around all the tentacles and shit and just generally be easier. Fourth, get to a position where a swing would hit the desired area. I typically go in for the kill when the scout is walking towards me or is currently feeling. Finally, fifth, if the scout is feeling and you are ready, you can get real close to the feelers. Walk in with them when they start automatically retracting. Use this to get in close. If the scout is walking or in a position where you're ready to strike, walk up and swing high. It is important to keep in mind that sprinting should not be used for getting closer, but instead to purposefully initiate a feeling. This can also be used to know exactly where the head will be when you want to swing. You actually have 3 to 4 seconds, depending how far out the feelers are, in order to run in and kill the scout. This is extremely useful information if you're dealing with a room with more than one scout.
That's it.
Thanks for watching, boys, especially if you made it to the end. To wrap up real quick, I want to thank the following modders and their mods which allowed this video to be possible. BepNX for the GTFO BepNX pack, Cookie_K for the cinematography plugin, Nskill for the weapon wheel and developer toolbelt, Dakuza for MTFO and damage numbers, Yamashiro-chan for the Scout Playground, and Dex for Screen Skipper and shader settings. Again, the mods I used are in the description, and possibly keep an eye out for part 2 where I go over guns and other tidbits of information. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Fucking perfect.